Hey, 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 beautiful people. It is March the 12th, 2013 at 2:01 in the afternoon. Past couple of days we've been going through some pretty intense upgrades for those that are focused on their light within. And for me, it has been um, a perpetual um, increase in my light quotient. It's not really a difference in my frequency right now, but my light quotient, what I feel within my field, is definitely uh, becoming dense. I don't know how you would say light can become dense, but it's gathering and increasing in my field quite drastically. And I had felt as I was going through some of my higher initiations, my minor chakras activating in my legs. Many people are used to feeling the original seven chakras and then many of the minor chakras lighting up. When you get to the about the eighth initiation, all initiation is an expansion and activation of the light body. When you get to the eighth initiation, after your original seven chakras have been activated and then expanded seven times, and your ascension chakra activates, and then all of your chakras go vertical and forms the ascension column around the body. After that, the next is all the minor chakras, like on your hands and on your feet, on your shoulders, on your elbows, on your hips. They all start lighting up. And you end up with this almost like your light body changes shape from a big column of light, a cylinder that's over you, into a round circular star. And the eighth ascension initiation, which is the first of your galactic initiations, all your minor chakras start activating all over your upper body, and you form a sphere around from your root chakra up above your crown. And then the next ascension initiation is more of the chakras which are on the exterior of your body start lighting up. Or they're minor chakras, is what they are, and they're just energy vortexes around your field, around your body. And then that sphere that went from your root chakra to above your crown chakra goes to below your feet. And as all the minor chakras outside your body light up. And then that is a continued expansion and rates of holding more light quotient within your field as you go through your next initiations. But what is so different since the day before yesterday? It began on the 10th in the evening, and I would have to say about the time that it was coming into the 11th on the international date line. That evening, I felt some major light coming in a shift in my own physical being again as I was going through my next upgrades. And what I'm feeling now is light that I have felt many times before in my legs, really becoming heavy. There's a super high vibration that is going in my thighs and in my calves and all the way down to my feet and under my feet. The bottom of my feet is just tingling. Like it's just, there's just no way to describe it. And you can see right here, you can see in this video, you can see my art field just right around that. You can see it, the pattern of the sofa as the light's coming through me. And this light is in a constant state of expansion as I go through my enlightenment activation, chakra activation process, ascension process, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. But the sensations the past few days uh, are becoming very intense in areas of my physical being that we don't usually think of having chakras in. And a lot of times you see pictures of person's painted where they've got their halo around here, or then it goes around their body, or like archangels, you'll see Archangel Michael there with an ascension column around him. And what I feel is we're expanding into a star. Now, this is all interesting because on the 20th of March 2013 at the spring equinox, many of us know that we're going to go through another mass light increase. There's many a person saying that we're going to have a solar storm that will occur then, where the sun will be sending out 528 hertz frequencies, or the frequency that's the same that our hearts are attuning to as we activate our chakras. And that is exactly what I'm feeling in the cells of my legs, which I felt before, but it's the intensity of this light that is so unusual. Um, the night of the 10th of March, 2 nights ago, it was so intense that I had a really difficult time staying in the bodysuit. And people know, a lot of them's got upset with me when I say, well, when times like that happen, I'd get in my wine a little bit, tone it down so I could go to sleep. And that's what happened then. Yesterday I woke, and oh my God, as soon as I woke, I was in such an incredible light bubble. It's just impossible to describe. It's like walking on the sun. And it is just freaking amazing. I'm hearing so many other persons also saying this. A friend of mine, John Schilter, a few years back, John was one who is also one of the those who helped open the 1111 doorway with so many others, the second group of 144,000 back in January 11th, 1992. And then John and I went to Angel Fire with Solara in spring of 1992 after we opened the 1111 doorway. Actually, it was end of May or early June. And it was at that point that we did ceremony and we created the Bird Star Starbird, or the White Dove, or the Planetary Ascension Vehicle. In previous videos, I've said that we had to meditate and find out our position within the Starbird, Bird Star, White Dove, the Planetary Ascension Vehicle that we're experiencing right now. And I found myself to be in the stomach as as part of the energy for the planetary ascension. Brother John was in the eye. He was one of the visionaries, and in a message that he put out in 2010, as he was channeling his higher self, he was saying that right now, coming up at the spring equinox, beginning of spring, would be the great shift that we've all been waiting for a high collective of humanity, and for those of us who are activated for going into our higher levels of light. And as I'm reading so many other messages coming out right now, this seems to be repetitive, that everybody is receiving these same messages. Now, something that was interesting that I had heard, and many of you have heard my other videos where I speak of the 3 days of darkness, and the possibility of the pole shift occurring, but not necessarily switching from north to south in as much as stopping its spin of rotation and then shifting in the opposite direction. Hunbat's Men, the Mayan elder, and someone who and I did ceremony with him at the Star Knowledge Gathering on the 12-12-12 in Phoenix, along with so many other people who were there. Hunbot's men said that March 31st was a huge possibility that we have this exactly happen. That we'll have the 3 days of darkness, and the Earth could spin in the opposite direction. Anyway, it is just absolutely amazing what all's happening. A good friend of mine who follows biblical prophecy and Revelations, especially, and what's going on in the Middle East. Many of you had heard my previous video when we were speaking about the Pope and Pope Benedict stepping down, but before he did, he he had negotiated seats at the place that the Last Supper, Jesus' Last Supper, occurred on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And today it's being shown that Obama, John McCain, and a bunch of other uh, cronies for the NWO, and maybe I shouldn't say that, but that's just how I feel about it, are going to be gathering at the place of the Last Supper for the spring equinox on March 20th. It's really interesting the polarities that we see occurring as those of us who are activated in our light bodies and our light beings are expanding our light, which comes down into Mother Earth and allows for the negativity to be released so that Mother Earth can hold more light, as we are consciously working as antennas on these jobs, missions of ours. Um, we are continuing to have the equal and opposite polarity manifest. So the lighter we get, the more that so-called dark side also looks out there. Now everything's in a perfect state of divine perfection right now, and we're not on the negative timelines, but all of that dark side is going to have to continue coming out, being seen and exposed, and seen for what it is until we come up on this final great shift. Now, when will that great shift be? Could it be on the 20th? I don't know. Could it be on the 31st, as Hunbotsman says? I don't know. The Mayan elders say that it will be sometime between now and January 1st of 2017. And so it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in these next days. I am seeing many persons wake up, and speaking about the One People's Public Trust, or OPPT, how those persons who have always sat on the fence but remained uh, in the system, remained playing the Illuminati game, the game of the controllers, the same game that is being taken to the place of the Last Supper here in the next week or so. How those people who stayed in the game are really getting upset with the One People's Public Trust right now, because they want to have all these millions of dollars in gold and whatever. I find it really interesting that these persons are continuing to look outside themselves into the illusion and thinking that they can change anything in their life. And if they had a bunch of money, that would change their life, when that just gives you stuff. The real treasure is this light within. That's the bliss. That's who we are. That's the embodiment of heaven into earth. That is stepping into fifth dimensional frequencies. That is living your life in the magic. That's being able to manifest what you need. And it's not having a lot of stuff. So it's really interesting to see so many people in that 4D game constantly thinking if they had a bunch of gold and silver and a unlimited bank account, they would have everything they need, rather than turning inside and doing their spiritual expansion and activating their chakras, heart chakra especially, and stepping into 5D consciousness. Anyway, I think that's what the 20th is going to be about. Is we're going to have a whole wave of persons globally that will be doing that. Anyway, we're coming up on the end of this video. Love you all. Bye for now.